union cannot charge you more than 18% interest on a charge account such as a bank credit card. Got that with them? Did you follow that? On a regular credit card, or a card that you have with a store, like a Macy's or a Bloomingdale's or whatever it may be, they can take you to 23% normally. And again, many of your accounts could be at 29% interest. So a federally chartered credit union by law cannot charge you more than 18% on a credit card with them. Most of them, if you have a good credit score, will only charge you 7 or 8%. So every one of you, if you have credit card debt, should look into that. Next, student loan debt. Listen, I understand that many of you went to school, you got into student loan debt, thinking that when you graduated, you would get a job and you'd be able to pay back that loan. Surprise. You have all this student loan debt and you can't find a job right now. So now you don't know what quite to do, so you think to yourself, I know, I'll go back to school. You need to understand what I'm about to say to you, and you better get this big time. Student loan debt is not dischargeable in bankruptcy in most cases. And I'm talking about almost all the cases. So they allow you to defer your payments. They allow you to go into forbearance and not make payments, the technical terms of what they do. Why do they do that? What other debt do you have? And they say to you, oh, you don't have to pay it for 6 months, a year, or 3 years. Because the interest is accumulating. They know that debt is not dischargeable in bankruptcy. So then you have $20,000 that goes to $40,000, that goes to $80,000, that goes to $100,000, and now they're knocking on your door. Because they have the legal authority to garnish your wages. They have the legal authority to even garnish your Social Security check. Got that? So the one debt that you have that has got to be paid before your credit cards, before any other debt that you have, is your student loan debt. Now, if any of you out there have private student loans, and you have your parents co-sign for you, you better carry a life insurance policy on yourself, where you make your parents the beneficiary of term life insurance policy. It shouldn't cost you more than $25 a month. Because did you know on private student loan debt, in most cases, if the student dies, the parents still have to pay for it. Big burden. So you have to get yourself out of debt and tackle that and not be afraid of it. Next, you have to have at least an 8-month emergency fund. You have to have money in case something goes wrong. Now, I know you think nothing's going to go wrong in your life. I know that everything's right. Things happen. And things can change your life. I've experienced in my own life where something happened within my body and they told me I'd be dead in 6 months. Well, they were wrong, thank God. Right? But I had to go through it. And thank God, again, I had everything in order, so if that happened to me, I'd be prepared. Anything can happen at any time. So you need at least 8 months of an emergency fund to be okay. If you are working for a corporation, profit or nonprofit, if they offer you a 401k plan or a 403b where they match your contribution, you put in $1 and they give you 25 cents or 50 cents, you cannot pass that up. I don't care if you have student loan debt. I don't care if you have credit card debt. I don't care if you don't have any money. You cannot pass up a 25 to 50% return on your money. You can't do that. But if your corporation does not match, you are far better off doing a Roth IRA if you qualify for one than the 401k that doesn't match. So you are to contribute up to your 401k plan till the point of the match, that is usually 6% of your base pay, and then stop contributing to your 401k plan and put it in a Roth. Now, if you don't qualify for a Roth because you're making too much money, Too much money would mean, as a single person, you're making $125,000 a year of adjusted gross income or more. Married, finally, jointly is $183,000. So if you're in that category, I'm so happy that you don't qualify for a Roth. But what you can do is open up a traditional IRA, make it non-deductible, and then convert it to a Roth. That is how you get money in a Roth if you're making too much money. For those of you who are employed, you're self-employed, right? You should be looking into a SEP IRA. With a SEP IRA, you can put $40,000. You can put a lot of money in those if you qualify. And you can also, though, do a Roth conversion with those. Why do I like Roths better than any taxable retirement account like a 401k, 403b, or a SEP IRA to leave money in there? People, we are in trouble. The United States of America is in trouble. And I do not care how many people say we're only going to raise taxes on the rich. Eventually, to get out of the situation that we're in, it is possible and probable that every one of us is going to be paying more in taxes. What I love about a Roth IRA is what you see is what you get. So if you have $200,000 in a Roth, and here you are now, 59 and a half years of age or whatever, you can take out all $200,000 tax-free. You don't need the money in a Roth, and you need to leave it to your kids. You get to leave it to them, income tax-free. If you are contributing to a Roth, and you're younger, and you get yourself in trouble, you can take any money that you put into a Roth out right away without taxes or penalties, regardless of your age or how long that money has been in there. So if you want, you can use a Roth as your emergency fund. These are the things that you need to know. Insurance. Maybe you need insurance because there are a lot of single moms out there and you want to make sure your children are okay. Do you understand that kids cannot inherit money if they're minors? So if you happen to have your children and their minors listed as a beneficiary on your retirement account, as a beneficiary on your life insurance policies, I'm here to tell you, if you die, they're going to take that money, put it in a blocked account, and good luck if your kids can touch it before the age of 18. So therefore, every single one of you in this room needs a will, a living revocable trust, an advance directive, and a durable power of attorney for health care, so you are protected. Now, I understand that it's very expensive to go to an attorney and get a living revocable trust. I don't have the time left in our session to be able to tell you why it is so important that you have a living revocable trust. But I want you to trust me that if you're a woman in particular, you need one. Because as you get older, if something happens to you, who's going to pay your bills for you? Who's going to write your checks for you if you're all alone? A will isn't going to help you, because a will is simply a document that says where your money is to go when you're dead. Well, what if you're not dead? Then what? So, since I understand that wills and trusts are so expensive, if you simply would go to SuzeOrman.com, and on the left-hand side there, look at where it says Books and Kits. Click there. Then when you click there, you will see a list of documents, a list of things that you can get. Look to where it says Must-Have Documents. If you click on that, it will ask you for a gift login code. If you put in the login, Get Radical. You can do Get Radical one word, Get Radical divided up. I don't care. Capitals, I don't care how you do it. You will be able to download over $2,500 worth of state-of-the-art documents, good in all 50 states. All you have to do is answer the questions. It has artificial intelligence in it. You cannot screw this up. You can do it with all your family members. You can do it however you want. The will and the trust and the durable power of attorney for health care and so forth, those are the documents that I myself have. So maybe our assets may be different, but the documents that I use to govern my own estate are those documents. Do not think I would have the best documents in the world. Now you do too. to know that you have the right insurance policies in place. Whole life, is that okay? 5 more minutes, you've got it, right? Or was he just waving to me? So, whole life, universal life, variable life, in my opinion, are absolute rip-offs. The only type of life insurance that you should have is term insurance, unless you have an estate that is so large and you're doing estate tax planning. The only type of life insurance you need is term. If you have any other type of insurance, you are to call some quoting service, select quote, quote term, whatever it may be, get a quote, qualify for the term insurance. It is cheap. It is cheap. $500,000 of a 20-year level term policy might cost you $30 a month. Okay? Insurance was never meant to be there for your entire life. It was just meant to be there during your younger working years in case something went wrong. Get your term insurance in place first. Once it's in place, cancel your whole life, universal life, or variable life policies. They are not worth it. Real estate is starting to settle down. Should you be buying real estate? Yes, and only if you have at least a 20% down payment. Besides the 20% down payment, you have an 8-month emergency fund. Besides the 8-month emergency fund, you will qualify and get either a 30-year or 15-year fixed-rate mortgage. You can afford the mortgage payment, the property taxes, the insurance, and maintenance. If all of that is true, and you get a good steal of a deal, don't compare it to what it was selling for, compare it to what all your neighbors are buying. Because if you buy a house for $200,000 and your neighbor's in trouble and they sell it for $100,000, your house is now worth $100,000. Got that? Real estate is starting to ground itself. It will be years, however, before it really comes back. So it's just starting to stable out. That doesn't mean it's going to go up. In terms of the stock market can go either way. If you're going to be investing in the stock market, look for good quality stocks or exchange-traded funds that pay you a high dividend yield of 4, 5, or 6%. So at least you're getting money. KT, I know, they told me. You just wasted 2 minutes. Yell at her. All right, so you have to know that. 529 plans, if you cannot afford to send your kids to school, just tell them. Tell them. Amen. And let them do it on their own. But if you have money to put aside for their college, look at 529 plans. Go to savingforcollege.com. Joseph Hurley is the nation's expert on this. Again, savingforcollege.com. If you happen to be a little bit older and you're investing for income, or if you have in your 401k bond funds, I would be getting out of bond funds. If interest rates go up, the value of your bond funds will go down, and there's a better place for your money. If you have individual bonds, that's a different story. But bond funds, be careful. So in my 1 minute that I have left, here's what I want to tell you. So many things that you need to know about money. You have the capability of knowing it all. You were born a woman. You were born with talents far and beyond what you have any idea. You need to get radical with who you are. You need to be bold with the moves that you make. And all that takes is courage coming from you. So I hope this helped you. If it didn't, turn into the Suze Orman Show.